Hey, good evening. This is Dr. Eric. We are on video podcast number 216. We're doing this as a component of COVID-19. COVID-19 is a novel coronavirus that has had a tremendous effect on the American public at large. Over 217,000 people have died. More than 8 million people have been infected. What my attempt to do is to inject my 50 years of medicine into the arena with a product that I have developed. And I think that it's bigger than I suspected. Bigger than I suspected because there's a unbridled amount of research now going in to this cannabinoid that's known as CBD, a cannabinoid known as THC, a cannabinoid known as CBG, and a cannabinoid known as CBDA. Now, I know it sounds like alphabet soup, but it's I have Kit and Susan that show up simultaneously every night. And I really appreciate you very much every night. I'm working to get this up on my computer so that I can share my computer. And Kit, I want you to tell your story sooner than later, because you have told me that you've had a stroke in the past. And I've already prognosticated that I believe through this video podcast that within 2 years, CBD will probably be recommended for strokes. And the reason being is not because of anything I've done, but because of the work of 4 NIH, National Institute of Health researchers back in 1999 that found that cannabidiol, CBD, had neuroprotective, neuroprolifertive, and anti-inflammatory capabilities. Now those are 3 really big statements, and we are now the whole aspect of medical training is being changed, looking at the disease etymology as a chronic low-grade infection of low-grade inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation. And that which certainly can lead to an infection if we don't have the body's ability to fight that low-grade chronic inflammation. But we have an immune system that has a number of different levels of intervention: B cells, T cells, macrophages, lymphocytes, monocytes, and these are the fighters that come out when something invades the body. And yet we have a dedicated increase in the assault on our immune system because of all of the new chemicals that are exposed, that we're exposed to. We're exposed to new pesticides and herbicides, insecticides, heavy metals, and a plethora of other components that basically put the immune system on alert, and the immune system has to respond to it. Now, the coronavirus is another aspect to react to for the immune system, and oftentimes it does not respond right away because it doesn't recognize the foreign body of a messenger RNA. But 7 to 10 days later, it tends to do so and puts out what's known as a cytokine response. And the cytokine are the stormtroopers, and they can do heavy damage to the virus, as well as heavy damage to the tissues around the virus. And that's when we get an acute respiratory syndrome that basically compromises us and has us go into respiratory failure. Now, there's a uptick of coronavirus cases across the Midwest, and we're topping more than 50,000 new cases every day now, and this is very, very worrisome. We have to worry about it because we're going to stress our hospital capabilities. It's the hospital capabilities that are stretched, and people may not get what they need as far as supportive therapy while they're going through this cytokine storm. Steroids, dexamethasone, is now being used as a means to counter the aggressive autoimmune response that the body puts out, and that has changed the disposition of people's hospitalization by reducing it up to 5 days. But it doesn't mean that it's a cure by any means. It's just an intervention, if you will. So we have to be well aware that the prevention is the best treatment here. So mask, even indoors over the holidays. If there's anyone outside of your immediate circle, you have to all wear a mask. They're showing that people in small conjugate connections, families having dinners and inviting their friends, and it's been spreading the virus, and the virus is spreading, and the virus has a number of long-term effects, and one of them is a fog. It's a mental fog that people are talking about, and we don't know in the long run whether this inflammation or will create a disruption of the neurotransmitting components of the synaptic and presynaptic membranes. We don't know what ligands are going to be upset. So when they talk about herd immunity, which I heard on the TV for my half-an-hour news, I try to limit my news to about a half an hour now because there's so much distortion that I try to get the information and go and solve it through science. But the fact that there is a great degree of mental fog, then we know that there's somewhat of an encephalitis in the brain, that low grade or maybe medium grade or maybe even high grade chronic inflammation in the brain can create this mental fog that people are talking about. So here we go. Have you had your daily vitamin CBD today to help reduce the your body's chronic inflammation to support your immune system? And I say chronic because it is chronic, because we have an electrical potential, that we have to make energy. And when we make an energy, we need to make a reaction. And we go from the left to the right as far as a chemical action is concerned. And we have a byproduct, and that's known as oxidative stress, or a free radical. And if we don't get rid of that free radical, then it creates and calls in more inflammation. So low-grade chronic inflammation is the objective. We need to eliminate it, and there are many ways of doing so. We're really pleased in the HCI world that we have a wild Maine blueberry gummy that a number of people have tried. I heard from one of my potential investors tonight. He says those wild Maine blueberries, they're really good, and that was a good sign, I might add. It was a good sign. But the good part about it is the fact that someone just said, Dory said they're yummy. Yes, they are yummy, Dory. Okay. The whole point. Hold on, let me show. I'm taking the lead. I'm taking the lead from Dory. Okay, thank you, Dory. She says a picture's worth 1,000 words. Okay, and the 1,000 words are wild Maine blueberry. Okay, this is a full spectrum nano-emulsified. Nano-emulsification means that you get 4 times the amount of the CBD in this wild Maine blueberry. Thank you, Dory. That was a great idea, and we have the video. And as long as I've been doing video, oftentimes I don't do enough video. So take a picture of that. You can go on our website, and if you don't see it, just send me a message that you want to order it, or you can Facebook me, or you can PM me, and we'll do that. But look at those babies. Okay, this is my personal supply. Okay, and that's it. Thank you, Dory. That was a great adjunct to a picture's worth 1,000 words. Okay, so those are the wild Maine blueberries that will help to reduce your low-grade chronic inflammation. So have you had your daily vitamin CBD today to help reduce your chronic low-grade inflammation, to help and support your immune system? And that's where we have deviated from our original mantra to helping the immune system, because this whole aspect of coronavirus is getting bigger and bigger. Why? Because it's affecting more and more people. And we want to reach out, and we're going to have a second coming of the Modern Woodsman Financial Service Lecture, and that's going to be on the 17th of November. And they just got approval. This is and that's tells you that things are changing, that things are changing in the cannabis world, because we even have a financial service that's willing to put me not on once after they heard everything I had to say. They're going to allow me to put it on again. So for this, I am most pleased, and I want to thank Patrick for pushing that envelope, and that's what we all need to do at this point in time, is push the envelope. Okay, and that envelope is to understand that there are 140 different cannabinoids, and the research is now robust. People are looking at CBG that can maybe be effective as an antibiotic for MRSA. If you don't know MRSA is a community-based methicillin resistant Staph aureus that is very, very, very tough to control, and people bring it into the hospital. And talking to one of my potential investors tonight, they said maybe everybody coming to the hospital should get it so that we can CBG. Now this is CBG, which is a precursor for CBDA. Now I know it's the alphabet, but you got to write this down, because you have to understand that it's a progression of going from acid to neutral forms. Okay, and one of the things that we've talked about is that the fact that depression has tripled in the United States, gone from 8.6% to 27.6%. It's tripled over the course of COVID-19. And one of the reasons that I try to come on every night and talk a little bit about what's going on, because we know that CBDA is a great fighter. CBDA, and now I think I showed you last night. I showed you the certificate of authenticity that now I'm tripling. I've doubled and tripled the amount of CBDA in my 2-path. It's not ready yet. Okay, it just got the results. We have to go through the filterization. We need to go bottles. We need to go labels, and we'll have it before Thanksgiving. But right now, you can order yours. Right now, we have a great special on it, a special that will allow you to start your CBDA right away. It's called 2-path. You can go to Daily Vitamin CBD and look, and you can order it right there. We'll get it out in the mail the next day to you. So that's what we're here. We're here on this video podcast every night at 8:30 for about 10 minutes. We don't want to overwhelm you. We want to give you a little bit of science, but not so much that you're going to get lost in the sauce. We really appreciate you coming on. We appreciate if you share this, if you like this. Let's make this go viral, because it's necessary. It's necessary in order for us to rectify the cannabinoid deficiency that I think we all have. Please and thank you. Have a good night, and see you tomorrow. Out.